Hi kids, it's me, Bunny, with another junk journal from Mimosa Morn Journals. And this one I call Morris's Magic Garden. And it features a lot of the work of William Morris. And has other artists in it too, but mostly him. And on the cover we have see if I can catch the purple colors. It's got a purple brooch, vintage, and it's got a flower in the middle, and some lace, and a little side tassel which attaches at the top, and you can remove it. There we go. I'll just get it out of the way. And it's all held together with this silky purple sash. We'll get that out of the way. And now we can explore the inside. And I'll just camera. There we go. And inside we have a vellum pocket with a flower on it. And there's a journaling card. All journaling cards are blank on the back. You can journal on them. Another journaling card, William Morris Butterfly. And here's a tag from Amity Bloom is the designer of the design on the tag. And Amity Bloom also designed a lot of the pages that you'll see here in the journal. Pretty pages. And here's an envelope also in the front. It contains a letter to the person who buys the journal, telling them about the journal and how it can be used. And also in the envelope is a little teeny weeny tiny journal, miniature journal. And it's got little miniature ephemera. Very cute. I don't know if you'd be able to write much in it, but it's very cute. Okay, and moving along. Here's William Morris Butterfly, William Morris Peacock, and a tag. And here is an envelope, a small envelope, and inside is a vintage ticket and a little teeny journaling card and a sticker, several little goodies. Some of the pages in here are coffee dyed, and a lot of blank ones for your writing, and there's lace on the edges of some of them and little clusters here and there, little details. Here's a page from a fairy book, Garden Fairies by Cicely Mary Barker. Very famous artist also. And this is just a little page from something. And this is a vellum, printed vellum. And here's some vintage music sheets. Put a dead rose sticker on it. I love dead roses. And in this pocket, or tuck, I have a William Morris journaling card and a vintage photograph. And she might be sitting in her garden. And a peacock feather. And this is a vintage letter. Something that saves paper. It's got the postage on the outside, and you unfold it and read it. That's a cute idea. Vintage. Of what year? What year? 1959, I believe it says. And there's a doily that I sprayed with some colorful inks. And here is a flip out glassine envelope. Inside of it is a vintage photograph. And here is pages out of an Edith Holden book, a well-loved botanical and otherwise artist. And there is a vintage photograph clipped in there. And in this pocket, there's a journaling card and a tag and a vintage postcard. Message of cheer to a shut-in friend. And there's a nice letter on the back. I'm not sure what the date is. It's very light. But anyway, and then here's a teeny weeny little envelope, and inside of it are some teeny weeny little goodies. Like a foreign vintage stamp and some other things. And here's a belly band, and it is beautiful William Morris journaling card. I love that one. And a letter, a vintage letter from 1936 to Miss Rusty Sherman. And there's a letter inside you can read. And it's from Old Faithful. Okay. More Cicely Mary Barker. Here is a little coffee-dyed envelope, and inside of it is, I believe, a vintage photograph. Ooh, I can't get hold of it. Well, I will get it out and put it back in a better manner. Oh, I know what it is. It's buttons. It's a vintage button card, and the buttons are kind of stuck, so I will rearrange that. And here is a vintage needle book, very pretty, and a journaling card with a fairy on it, and another tag. And the next signature, there's a pretty William Morris journaling card. And here's a flip out envelope, which you'll notice is upside down. Yes, this is an interactive journal. This will force you to turn the journal around to interact with it and see what's on the envelope. No, kidding. I made a mistake. It's upside down. Sorry. And it's a journaling card and a vintage receipt from 1945. Okay, and here's some sort of very thin paper with some sort of Asian characters on it. I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese or what. And here is a page from a children's book, music sheet from children's book. This is from a vintage plant book. This is a handmade paper with petals in it. doily. This is a page from a children's book. The outside of the apple is the skin. And in this tuck, boy, I'm being silly today, is more William Morris. The tag and some vintage play money and an envelope with stickers and things in it. Okay, and here's a page from a vintage newspaper. I'm not sure of the year. I think it's on the other side. And here's some handmade paper and another vintage photograph. The kids are going to go water Mom's garden. Yeah, right. Her magic garden. Yeah, I stuck a little girl on there. This says 1896. This newspaper. And here's a tuck with a William Morris rabbit. Very noble. And a vintage postcard. Moose Haven, the city of opportunity. Okay. And a tag from Amity Bloom. And this is the William Morris dragonflies. And here's a little teeny weeny itty bitty envelope with a vintage stamp in it. And the vintage stamps are, some of them are very interesting to look at, so be sure to look at them. And moving onward, we have a pocket with William Morris owl on it, William Morris peacock journaling card, and another William Morris journaling card, and a tag. And here's a little glassine bag that I stuck something in, a little miniature vintage photograph. Crackle, crackle, crackle. I love the way it crackles. And moving on, we have another journaling card, William Morris, and a tag and a vintage photograph. I think she might have flowers in her hands. It's hard to tell. And that's a William Morris parrot. And more vintage book pages, vintage music page. This is from a vintage plant book, and it had some empty spaces here, so I put some pretty girls on it. And vintage book page. It's a journaling card, William Morris. And here's another journaling card, not William Morris. And a little envelope with some goodies inside. And there's a tag. And this is from the Edith Holden book, Wildflowers Found in the Neighborhood of Orton, Warwickshire. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. List of flowers in the area, in her area. More vintage book pages. Here's some little doors. Open the little tie, and they open up. And inside is a little miniature tag and some small journaling cards. Here's more Edith Holden. And another vintage photograph. Put some ruffles on this page just because it seemed to need it. Here's a William holding a deer, holding a pretty journaling card, and a vintage photograph. It's funny. I don't know if the lady's naked or what, but it's funny. And here is a tag, not vintage, a tag. More vintage pages. Here's another belly band. It has a William Morris mushroom illustration and another miniature journal, which has miniature ephemera in it. And this one has little bags with stuff in them. So that's fun. I'll put that to the side. And in this pocket is a pretty journaling card. Looks kind of Asian art. And, whoops, a tag. And a postcard, 1939 maybe, and it says, "Can't write it on a card." People sure were cute back in the day. And here is a little miniature folder, and inside are some vintage trading stamps and a little vintage Asian language ad from a newspaper. And let me put that back together so it'll hold together. Oh, I dropped it. Oh well, I'll fix it later. And moving onward, still recording, yes. A journaling card, a vintage library card, and a tag, and another teeny weeny envelope with some goodies inside. Oh, and here is another one of those envelope pockets. And inside of it is a vintage playing card. Birds. And just a little journaling card. Okay. And here's some vintage wallpaper. And I did a little stenciling on the back. Vintage children's book. And here we have a pretty